welcome back, everybody. It is the Chevrolet booth right here, SEMA 2013. My name is Dennis, and we're having a great time checking out all these great performance vehicles, including the one to my right, which is a black Z28 concept car. To my left, Al Oppenheiser, chief engineer of the Camaro, and since forever, as you put it. Al, I don't even know. I'm going to test my memory. We did this the other night. The RPO is LS7. It's 505 horsepower, 481 foot-pounds of torque.
Right.
1.05 on the skid pad, 1.5 on the brake and the G's. Then you took it out to the Nürburgring and ran a 737-47 in the rain,
right.
with one of the most incredible videos anyone has seen. I watched that, and it's like a roller coaster. You don't know what the guy sawing on the wheel. I was scared. I was excited. This is a time when we sit here and I get goosebumps. I get the hair on my arm stands up because performance is alive and well at the Chevrolet family, and we all have to bow our heads and thank you for doing what you have done for the 5th Gen Camaro. I mean, it's just an amazing car.
Yeah, it's the one that I told you a couple years ago that we wouldn't release until it was right, and that is definitely right. In fact, we're still working on it. We're in the last phases. We're going into production first quarter of next year. And some of the specs we haven't announced yet because we want to make sure we just push it to the limit. In fact, we just upped our lateral capability to 1.08.
Wow.
Comfortably.
Comfortably. Yeah. That is amazing. Yeah, and you talked about what importance that car has. I mean, we're talking about its history that is the pure DNA of Chevrolet and Chevrolet performance. You harken back to the 1st gen 67, 68s with the MO code motors, then to the DZ code motors in 69. Right. It is something that, as you put, had to be done right. And one of the best quotes I ever got was an interview I did with you, I think last year, when you finally told everybody, okay, it's coming, but we're not going to tell you anything about it. And you said, now listen, the 5th Gen Camaro is my baby. Then you gave us the cars like the ZL1, the Copo, the 1LE, and you told me, and it was the greatest quote ever, this is the car that I will buy and put in my garage. That is a powerful statement, my friend.
Absolutely. Everybody's always asked, how come you don't own a 5th Gen? And I said, I've been waiting. I couldn't tell you what I was going to buy, but that's the one.
You owned it up here.
I owned it up here. Yeah, and now I just have to own it by my wife, and we're all set.
Well, if you get that handle, have your wife and my wife talk. One of the interesting things, we were talking just before we started this interview, the pride that goes into not only your side of things, engineering and putting the car together, but building these 5th Gen Camaros. You talk about that homecoming. I thought that was a great story.
Yeah, I was just telling you a couple minutes ago, we had a homecoming for the 5th generation Camaro at the Oshawa Assembly Plant in Canada, and they were expecting about 3,000 people to come. They got over 6,000 people.
Wow.
I mean, it goes back to when they heard it was going to be built in Oshawa. People would circle the plant real estate, and the security was like, what are you doing? They're like, this is where it's going to be built. We just want to be part of the aura. But at this homecoming, we let them get a tour of the plant. And there were literally Camaro owners going up to people on the line saying, you're the person that installed my door trim. Will you sign my owner's manual? Can I get a picture with you? And so the plant workers were like rock stars, and they wear Camaro shirts, swag every day. It's just everybody that touches a car, they have goosebumps like you do.
Well, yeah, it's the pride of being a part of that build. Now, I think the days of the 60s performance era might be gone. I don't think there's anyone in there sliding secret motors over to the, without a camera or someone an alert going off. But man, it's one of those things that we've all waited for. And the car is just, I mean, all the performance things, even like you said, now upping the lateral G to 1.08. Right. Where does this car also, I want to talk about, fit into the racing future of Chevrolet?
Well, we're still trying to work with Jim Campbell and his team on, do we do a separate manufacturer series? There's got to be a lot of interest, obviously, to do that. We are providing parts in the GT series already. Work with my partner, Mark Dickens. We're trying to see what other sanctioning bodies. We got the 1LE in with Todd Naparowski, almost won the points championship in SECA runoffs last year. But my vision for this car is, number one, I know people are going to buy it and put it in bubble wrap for, for the Barrett Jacksons in 30 years from now. But I would be disappointed if somebody doesn't track this thing at Autobahn or Monticello or the private clubs and just go beat the snot out of the car on the track and learn what we did into this car. I mean, the Randy Popes and these drivers that are going to be able to drive it and write great articles about it, we need to translate that to the owner that's going to take it and track it. That's what it's for.
And I agree with you. I know that there's people out there that probably bought a 67 or 68, maybe in a 69 Z28. And I mean, I've told you the story about my brother-in-law has his, Cross Ram car that he can't bear to rebuild the carbs because his Cross Ram has the chalk marks on it. but it was a driven car before that. I mean, if you're going to put that car in a Barrett-Jackson 30 years from now, at least make it the car that you see 30 years from now with 10,000 miles on it. Go out, and like you said, even if you take it to the local autocross, just bear down on those 305s and go through a set of them. It's okay.
I mean, the video is outstanding. Like you said, it's like an adventure movie. But
it is.
Until you plant yourself in that seat and experience what over 1.5 G D-cell is in a car.
Yeah.
If you track the car, you know what that means on corner entry. It means you're going farther into it, come out with a higher exit speed. So, and one of the things that we don't highlight enough is the suspension on this. It's we worked with a team out of Canada called Multimatic, and they provide a dual spool damper system. The only other people that use it is Formula One. So we're the first production user of this, and it's completely tunable for us for high and low speed rebound and compression. So we're setting it up for the top tracks in the world, as you see. And it's going to be something that no other production car can lay claim to.
Well, you look at that technology. A lot of us, including myself, were wondering if the electronic ride control was going to be on this car, like the ZL1. But I think it was a better choice. It was all these little choices along the way for the Z28. Not going to a supercharged motor, going to the normally aspirated LS7. You know, the
no air.
Yeah. I mean, it's just these little things that it's all just goes to that same statement. You had to let the Z28 come out when it was right, and it's all those little details. Right. Now, I mean, I might have ripped the rear seat out. I mean, that was me, but you know, there's somebody up there that said there had to be 4 seat belts in it.
Well, that was me. We've got an awesome 2-seater. Look at it. It's in the Transformers. I mean, the Transformers car and the Gran Turismo. The Corvette's awesome. We've got a 2-seater.
Yeah, I know. You know what? Can you just envision that car coming out like that and then seeing it with someone with a full race cage in it? I mean, I know these are dreams you have at night. Like, you must just wake up and see these things in your mind.
Absolutely. And the cars that we use on the test track with the cages in them, that's what I want to see when I go to car shows, is somebody trailering that thing in with the cage on it and telling me how fast they beat everybody else on the track. That's my goal.
One last thing about the Z28 and the parts that you brought here as part of the concept car. I mean, not only is this now production.
By the way,
Z28,
that's a pre-production car, not a concept.
That is.
It's going to look just like that.
Oh, it is this car.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Absolutely.
So there was the light. Now you changed there was a lightened. The airflow grill was one of them, and then there was some lightning done to the car as well too.
We did. We took approximately 100 pounds out of the car. We went to the 19s, wheels and tires with those Pirelli FAOR tires. We've taken air conditioning out as a standard piece of equipment. We redesigned the rear seat. I wanted to leave it in there, but we redesigned it and took over 8 pounds out of it.
Wow.
Took the trunk trim out. We went through the whole body with our assembly plant and took out sound deadening that's liquid applied where it wasn't needed for a car that's meant for the track. So all in all, there's massive weight savings. You push a car that's 300 pounds lighter than a ZL1. Everybody always asks, why didn't you put MR on it like the ZL1? Well, that's heavy. It's an awesome system, but it adds mass.
Yeah.
So we just kept pushing away from this, and it's strictly a track car where the ZL1 is the best for the track, the strip, and the street. So this is a very purpose-built race car.
Well, I tell you what, Al, you did hit it right in the middle of the bullseye with this car. I'm glad we waited long enough to see the car that we knew you had in your mind. And again, if everybody's out here, these guys are out here. Al Oppenheiser, he is definitely the force behind the Z28. Thank you so much for coming by and sharing some time with us.
All right.
We'll be back in just a moment.